everyone, I'm James Conrad with Team MVP. I'm here today to give you guys an in the bag. Each tournament my bag might be slightly different, just depending on the course, but this is a pretty typical bag for me, especially heading into a wooded course. Starting up top in the putter pocket, I got a pair of Nomads. I got one pretty fresh one. This is one of the special edition Nomads from my Worlds win. I just put it in earlier this year though, so it's still pretty fresh, nice and stable. This is actually the first Nomad I started putting with. This one's really nice and flippy now. I don't putt with it too often, but I really like this disc for like touch approach shots, anything from like 90 or 100 feet up to like 250 feet. This is going to be one of my go-to discs. Then I have a whole selection of Envies in my bag right now. I have this pair of 2 stock James Conrad Envies. I think a medium and a firm. This medium's a little bit flippier than the firm. I find the brand new Envy to be nice and overstable out of the box in the Electron plastic, but they kind of get straight quickly, so I tend to like to cycle in a new one pretty often if I'm looking for that good grip that I get from Electron, but that nice stable, overstable flight. A fresh Electron Envy, nothing beats it. Then I have this soft Neutron Envy. This one's a pretty sweet die, a Windrunner die. The soft Neutron Envies I feel like really hold their stability well. This one I've been throwing for a little while and it's still really overstable. If I need a touch more than that fresh Electron Envy, I'll go with this soft Neutron one. And this is one of the older Envies I have in my bag. Obviously not the Envy that I threw the shot with, but one of the commemorative ones. For hyzer flips, this one's my baby. I actually have a few more putters in my bag, believe it or not. That was already, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe overkill, but a couple backup putters, just mostly for practice rounds to get more reps in on the putting green. It's nice not to have to go retrieve the discs quite so much. This black one is pretty beat in too, so it can be nice for those longer jump putts. If I'm putting like 60, 70, 80 feet, I like something that's been a little more beat in just to get a little better glide, maybe a little bit easier turn to kind of milk that easy distance. Yeah, this one's just, like I said, a backup for more reps on the putting green. And then this one was in my bag from Lake Eureka. It didn't make its way out yet, but this is a Plasma Entropy. This thing is really overstable. And I don't throw it too often unless like the wind sometimes picks up, or occasionally you need like a hard flex shot that doesn't actually go that far distance-wise, and when that's the case, I like going with the Entropy. Keeping close to 10 putters in my bag doesn't honestly leave me a whole lot of room for mid-ranges. I have 2 in there right now. I have a Hex and I have a Pyro. I feel like these are great complements to each other. The Hex, obviously a little bit on the understable side. This one's getting kind of beat in too, so I can really get some sweet shapes out of this. I can hit it like high and flat and it'll just get the slow, late drift to the right, or I can hit it with a bit of hyzer and really get it to stand up to flat, just to cruise nice and straight. If I don't think I can quite reach something with the Envy, that's when I'll usually go for the Hex. Then the Pyro I've added somewhat as a utility disc. I feel like with one of those like soft Neutron Envies, I can get like a little bit of a flex line going, but they really don't want to like fight out of a turnover. If I started on Annie, they really don't want to like come back hard left at the end, and the Pyro does. So it's a great utility disc for me to have if I need that flex shape out of a shot, or if the wind's really picking up, I can just count on this to not get swirly on me. It's a great overstable mid-range. Moving up to the fairway drivers in my bag. I have a nice stack of 6 of them here. I'll start with the least stable. This is a Virus. The Virus I primarily use as a roller disc, occasionally for like a hyzer flip shot, or if I have to throw out of a really awkward stance, you know, something where I'm not going to be able to generate too much power. I can get some pretty sneaky, easy distance out of this Virus. But yeah, my most common use is I can hit it just about flat and hard, and it'll land on a nice cut angle to give me really predictable rollers. Then the Relay is a disc I've really been enjoying in the woods this year. Yeah, I feel like it's just a disc that just kind of wants to go straight. Like I'm able to put it on some hyzer, it gets up to flat and just kind of cruises. If I really try to snap it or give it a lot of power, then I can get that kind of flip up to flat and late turn right, which is really useful, especially when I'm not generally throwing the forehands. Here I have a Cosmic Neutron Insanity. I get quite a similar shape flights out of this disc as I do with the Relay. This one's just a 3 speeds higher. This is a 9 speed compared to the 6 speed on the Relay, so I feel like I'll lean on this. Maybe if the main gap I'm aiming for is a bit further away and I kind of want it to get to that gap in a hurry before it starts flipping up, I think the Insanity can be good, and it also doubles as another pretty solid roller disc for me. I have to kind of try a little harder to get this one on that roller angle, but yeah, I've thrown some really, really good rollers with the Insanity as well. The Volt is still one of my favorite discs from MVP. It was my first Tour Series disc. This is one of the Bindi James. This all black one, just as cool looking. I'm amazed I haven't lost it yet, knock on wood, but yeah, it's gotten a little worn in. It's just really neutral flying for me. If I start it on hyzer, it'll just kind of hold that slow hyzer all the way. And my favorite flight for it though is to hit it as flat as I can, and I'll usually get a little drift right. I get some really nice distance out of this. You can really work the glide on the fairway drivers, and just overall really straight, really torque resistant, really nice disc. And moving up in stability, I have a couple Terras in the bag. This is one of the first Terras I started really throwing a lot, and so it's definitely got pretty beat in, and it is super straight now. Like, one of my favorite flights for it is that I'm able to hit it on a bit of Annie, but it doesn't really move right or fade too hard. It's just kind of that neutral forced over straight line, and that's super useful. I find these to be some of my go-to discs in the wind, especially. The Terra doesn't really seem to mind if the wind picks up. It just kind of still flies just the way it always flies. And having a beat up one, it's a little more neutral, and then a fresher one that's really overstable kind of rounds out my fairway bag. And last but not least, moving on to the distance drivers in my bag. I'm kind of light on them at this point. I have a pair of fission photons, and I have a pair of neutron panics. Fission photons I get great distance out of. I can really get them to flip up nicely. The neutron panics are quite overstable, so I can throw good flex lines, good just power hyzers with these discs. These are really solid choices. Well, that's what I got in my bag. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you next time.